Hello, everybody. Happy Halloween. We don't have a special Halloween special DCU daily for you today, but I wanted to have some mood lighting. I am supposed to be orange. I don't know if that shows up properly, but to me it's like kind of pinkish right now. Anyway, that's not the point. I don't have a costume either, but I do have my Superman shirt. I'm Superboy who really let himself go. Maybe that's my costume. But I do have a couple things for you today. Some very fun things today in regards to a whole bunch of stuff. Obviously, we are going to be talking about Kelly Macdonald apparently joining Lanterns, in addition to some other people maybe joining Lanterns in regards to some rumors that surfaced a while back that I hoped would not be true, but it seems like that might be the case, which has me worried, more so than I already do about Lanterns. Then we might be getting... There has been a more rumor mill in regards to Superman getting a trailer in December, and how it's apparently confirmed by an inside source. We'll get into that real soon. And then, talking Peacemaker, some episodes are still in the woodwork, according to James Gunn. And then finally, the thing that everyone has come here for is my Superman and Lois review. A little delayed from a couple days ago, but with how hectic this week has been in terms of people being sick and me being a little bit busy, I hope that wouldn't be much of an issue. So, what I have first, obviously, is Miss Kelly Macdonald, who is, in fact, joining the DCU. This was a rumor back a couple weeks ago that I did a video on this, and it's definitely exciting. I mean, she's a very good actress. Unfortunately, the only thing I really know her from is Brave. I remember her vaguely from No Country for Old Men's a great movie, so I do remember her from that, but Brave is... I have a little bit of a hate relationship with Brave, but that's beside the point. But we are getting Scottish actress Kelly Macdonald. She was famously in films like Trainspotting and its sequel, Gosford Park, Finding Neverland, No Country for Old Men, as I mentioned, as well as Brave, Nanny McPhee, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, a whole bunch of stuff. She has had a pretty good filmography, as well as, Boardwalk Empire, as well as Black Mirror in terms of TV, so definitely highbrow television as well. I'm relatively excited about this news. She's joining the cast as Sheriff Carey. It seems to be an original character now, or they could be, totally BSing us, and she's really another character. Well, one can only hope it's really Carol Ferris, as I was talking about that the other day with Star Sapphire. But it seems to be that, they're really diving into the small-time, murder thing that's going to blow up into something bigger, really going into that True Detective stuff. I don't remember what episode it was on, but I do remember talking about there were some rumors in regards to, not only Kelly Macdonald joining the show, but in addition to that, we also had a couple other things, and we'll get to that soon enough, but mainly it's Kelly Macdonald right now. I'm relatively excited for this. I think she's a very good actress from what I've seen her from or heard her from, and I think she'll be a good addition. I hope it's not just, this really kind of, it's True Detective, but with Green Lanterns. I really hope it's not the case. Again, can't really expect much from Tom King, though, so I'm going to have my skepticism in regards to this. So, Kelly Macdonald is going to be playing a character named Sheriff Carey, and I do hope that she fits in quite well. Apparently, she's, from the rumors in regards to her character, she's going to be a love interest for Hal Jordan, and she is going to be the sheriff of this really small town where this murder takes place, and that for some reason the Green Lanterns are investigating. So obviously we will have to see, but I'm relatively excited. I'm so skeptical on this show. I'm just not into the idea of Tom King. I've said that many times. I just don't like his writing, and it seems like a lot more rumors that I was not a fan of are being confirmed. So you know, obviously we will have to see. We will have to see. I hope that this is all just like, covering. This is all, like just like hush hush kind of thing, and we have to, you know, keep the real stuff hidden. Like, oh, maybe she's actually Carol Ferris. Maybe she's or these other characters that I'm gonna talk about in a minute. Hopefully, hopefully, hopefully that is the case. Now, curious to know your guys' thoughts on this. What do you think her character is? Do you think she's this Sheriff Carey character, or do you think there's something more with her? Maybe she's actually a well-known DC character, or do you think, yeah, no, this is all just cut and dry. It's all going to be surface level stuff. She's going to play this character, but obviously we will have to see. Now, the next thing that I wanted to talk about, still relating to lanterns, this is more rumor mill. Now, this was originally by Nexus Point News, so they are, grain of salt, but Deadline did eventually, talk about this, so there is something there. But yeah, exciting, exciting. Next up, we have Garrett Dillahunt, and I hope I am pronouncing her name correctly, Purna Jagannathan, have been offered the roles of Dylan and Zoe in the HBO original drama series Lanterns. Again, this is big old grain of salt. Very, very big grain of salt, because it's from Nexus Point News. Now, Deadline did confirm the Kelly Macdonald story, so that's Deadline's a little bit more highbrow than Nexus Point News, which, I mean, they've been right about a couple things, but not a lot of things, so obviously we will have to see. But Garrett Dillahunt, I don't know the name. I have seen his face, though. He's a big character actor in television. And then Jagannathan, again, if I am mispronouncing this, please let me know in the comments below. I hope that I believe I don't know what ethnicity she is, so I'm not going to assume, but I'm sure she's a good actor. I have seen Garrett Dillahunt in something. I'm not exactly sure what it was, but I'm sure he was on some cable show that I watched way back then. But this is rumor stuff. This is specifically like Deadline, Hollywood Reporter, Variety. None of them have picked this up. This is only rumored. We have get our big grain of salt out. Get our big grain of salt out. But the thing that's alarming to me, this as I was talking about before, and what I talked about a couple weeks ago, is that this confirmed a not great rumor that the antagonist was going to be just some corporate billionaire, which I think Dylan was his name, and then Zoe would be Jon Stewart, played by Aaron Pierre's love interest, and is the only minority in this small time town in the Midwest, or like wherever this is going to take place. So that's alarming, because from the rumor that they're like, oh, we're gonna talk about like minorities in like all white towns, we're gonna talk about their struggles, and it's like, that's fine, I don't mind talking about that, but at the same time, I don't want that to take precedent, at least with something like Superman and Lois, and we'll get to that soon, is that for instance, the way they do it in that show, they had it all encompassing, they had it all there, like all these characters, even the Hispanic characters, which were the Langs in this iteration, which is fine. I hate the Langs, not for what they look like. I hate them because they're horrible characters. They are assholes, and I hate them. But that's neither here nor there. But the way that Superman and Lois did it is, it was like an ensemble. You got like good amount of screen time with each character, and there was never like, they didn't stop grind the show to a halt to lecture the audience. That's what I'm worried that this show will do. I'm worried that it's going to grind everything to a halt. It's going to, lecture us about, how minorities are treated in America and all that. And I feel like in a show about the Green Lanterns, that's not why I want to watch a show about the Green Lanterns. I want to watch a show about the Green Lanterns for them, killing aliens and killing, and solving crimes, being space police, all that. So I understand that this is very much rumor mill. I'm just talking about, like, if it were true. So I'm not a huge fan of that. Obviously, they could maybe incorporate it well, but again, as I've said many times before, Damon Lindelof and Tom King, I don't like them as writers. I think Damon Lindelof has never really written anything all that great. The best thing he's maybe done is Prometheus. I didn't like his Watchmen series. I tried to watch it, and I thought it was horribly written. And I've read Tom King, and I've not liked his stories from what I've read of him. Now, maybe I'm missing the best that he has to offer, but I just don't really trust the show, and it's a shame that the Ryan Reynolds movie essentially killed everything in regards to this character, and we're finally getting something else in live action on the small screen, but we're still getting something, and it's already starting to be very not good. Like, the wrong people are in charge. I feel like they might be focusing on the wrong things. It's going to be a very grounded show, because that's confirmed by James Gunn. He said it's a grounded show. I don't watch a Green Lantern show for it to be fucking grounded. I watch it because it's cosmic. That's the point. I want to see a cosmic adventure in space with Hal Jordan and the other Green Lanterns, whoever that may be. So I like some of the things going on. Like, I think Kyle Chandler will be great. I think Erin Pierre is going to be fantastic. Kelly Macdonald is a very good actress from what I've seen of her. And Garrett Dillahunt is, from what I've seen of him, I don't know what it is, but I remember him playing a good asshole. Like, he has, like, that, like, demeanor. I don't know the other actress, so I can't judge on what she's done. But I hope that this is false. I hope this is just based on BS rumors. I just don't want that to be true. I want it to be about the Green Lanterns. And the thing is, you can talk about race with Jon Stewart. You don't need another character to talk about that, because that's what was so interesting about Jon Stewart was when he was introduced. Why not talk about race with him? Like now he's, maybe this military guy who never got any respect in the force and whatever. I don't know what military that Jon Stewart was a part of in the comics. I think it was the Army. It was either the Army or the Marines. And I think maybe they'll make it Space Force here. That would be funny. But I think you could talk about, if you want to talk about race, talk about it with him. There's a lot you can talk about with him, and I think that would be better and focusing on our Green Lanterns than some chick I don't fucking care about that's probably not even going to be based on a comic book character. So why do I care? Obviously, I could be totally wrong. This could all be bullshit rumor, so I hope that's the case. Or maybe if it is true, Tom King and Damon Lindelof will surprise me. It'll be the greatest show ever. I'm still going to watch it because I can't judge it until, it comes out, because, that's how you judge things. You watch them and then you judge. You can't judge something you haven't seen. So I want to be wrong so badly, but all of these things have me so skeptical, leaning on the fence of this might not be a good show. I hope that's not the case. I hope this is just a rumor, and if it's not, they'll do it properly. But that's neither here nor there. Now, going on to, Superman-related things, we have, allegedly, the Superman trailer is coming in December, according to a proper insider named Cryptic 4K Qual. He released a bunch of other stuff in regards to, a lot of, insider stuff. apparently he's a trusted insider who's usually right. I don't know, like, he's not Jeff Snyder or Daniel RPK. Those are the ones I mainly know. I'm not as familiar with him, so please let me know in the comments. Maybe he's gonna he offers stuff that's been mostly right. So we were talking about this yesterday, and I did want to mention that I wouldn't mind that. Now, I remember I had my theory. I personally had my theory that the first trailer we're going to get is February, because I feel like that makes the most sense, because, that's when the Super Bowl comes out, January, February. I think it's going to be February this year. And that's the biggest audience you could possibly get, at least in America. So I feel like doing that would make a lot of sense. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think they will do that, so I'm not totally wrong, but I also think that giving us a teaser, or as Bridget was saying yesterday, maybe a mini announcement trailer where we get like a look at the suit, or it's just going to be, just something just real quick. Now, with the news that James Gunn was, in fact, working on the trailer, as he confirmed a couple days ago, I think we might be getting... I think I might have been initially wrong in regards to when we were first getting a trailer. Now, I think we might be getting it in December at CCXP, which is December 8th. I believe it says it in the comments here. Yes, December 8th at CCXP, which is a Brazilian comic book convention. So I think that might be the case here. I think that might be, something to be excited about. Now, obviously, this is just rumor mill. Who knows? This guy could be totally wrong. He could just be like going off of like previous rumors, and he's like, oh yeah, no, that's definitely coming. But I'm leaning more towards yes, that we're going to get an announcement trailer, or even maybe a teaser trailer, because James Gunn specifically said, I'm working on it. So why would you be working on something if it's not going to come out, if it's going to be coming out in like January or February? It would make sense he's working on something now to prep and do it properly, and then we'll get that in early December. However, the only thing I'm wary of, if this is true, if we're getting it at CCXP, is it'll take away excitement from Creature Commandos. Now, I understand that he was like, oh, that's an appetizer, Superman is the real deal, that's the real introduction we're getting. But at the end of the day, it's still an introduction. Creature Commandos is introduction, and if you're taking away like excitement from that, I don't think it's like, oh, people aren't going to be excited because, we got the Superman trailer. And, Creature Commandos, the first episode would have gone up by that point. But I just, Creature Commandos is a smaller thing. I mean, a lot of people were excited for it. Like, from the reports we heard from New York Comic Con, is that I don't know what the Creature Commandos panel and, like, the exhibit or whatever was like crowded. There was a line all across the convention, so that's exciting, especially for something like Creature Commandos. So I'm hoping that Creature Commandos gets its due, they get its excitement, they get their good numbers, in addition to possibly getting an announcement or teaser trailer at CCXP. So let me know your guys' thoughts. Do you think this holds water? Do you think this is no way? I think your initial theory that the Super Bowl, that's when we're going to get our first teaser trailer. What are your guys' theories? What are your guys' thoughts? Please let us know in the comments. Now, the next thing that in regards to the DCU is we got some confirmation from James Gunn himself, as you could see right here, that confirms that 2 episodes, 6 and 8, because the way 6 and 8 are left to shoot for Peacemaker. Now, if you don't know, in the filmmaking biz, we are, talking about with the way that certain episodes are filmed. It depends on the director, and it depends on shooting, and they get filmed usually in blocks, and it's not like in order. Maybe they work on this episode first and that episode first. It doesn't go like 1, 2, 3, 4. Usually, from what I've seen, it's like episodes 1 and 3, episodes 4 and 6, 2 and 4, like something like that, like 1 and 3, 2 and 4, 5, it's like something like that. And the way that this is shown to us, episodes 6 and 8, I'd be willing to believe it was probably 1 and 3, 2, 4, 5, 7, 6 and 8. So that seems the case. And he says right here, I'm in the middle of shooting the last 2 episodes. We're shooting. We bounce around because of the insane schedule. For instance, Greg Matola shot 2 and 3 before I shot 1. So yeah, it's not only due to a hectic schedule, but at the same time that usually like they film in like blocks of episodes depending on the director, like 2 and 3, and he's shooting 1, 6 and 8, and then like usually it all depends. That's usually the proper schedule in regards to television. So yeah, that's exciting. We're getting Peacemaker. That's probably going to be coming out. If I were to take a guess, that's probably going to be coming out in Peacemaker season 2. As we know, so far, obviously, it might be called The Peacemaker. It might be called Peacemaker. This one isn't connected to the DCU. The way that James Gunn is talking about it is probably just going to be Peacemaker season 2, because he shot himself in the foot in regards to how he tried to handle the canon, making people even more confused than they already were. So, yeah, I think Peacemaker season 1 was okay. I don't think it was great. I'm curious about this. I like Vigilante, even though he's nothing like his comic book counterpart. I liked Amelia Harcourt. I like John Economos, Steve Agee, whatever. I can Jennifer Holland as Amelia Harcourt, Steve Agee as John Economos. I liked John Cena's Peacemaker, but I just wish that he was more straight edged and not just overly goofy. But I do like John Cena, and I think he's funny. But overall, it's a good show. So I wouldn't say I'm super excited for this, but it's interesting how we're getting stuff. It's like we're almost done with this. Post-production is probably going to be the first couple months of 2025. I would imagine we'll probably get it in September. Now, I don't remember when season 1 was released, but I'm going to look that up really quickly. But yes, it seems like it was in January to February of 2022. Now, obviously, that's not going to be the case because they're just wrapping filming now, and they're not exactly just going to have post-production for 2 months. Now, so I would imagine it's going to be weekly. It's probably going to start in sometime in September 2025, because that's usually when the fall schedule comes out for all this. So the timeline is most likely going to be so we're getting Creature Commandos in December of this year, obviously December 5th, Thursday. Get stoked, guys. We're almost reaching the 1 month away, a little bit more than 1 month, but still, 1 month and like a couple days. It's essentially maybe like a week. Yeah, it's exactly 1 month and 1 week from today. So that's very, very exciting. But yeah, I think we're going to be, getting, so first Creature Commandos in December, then Superman in July 11th, 2025, and then we're probably going to be getting Peacemaker in September. Then we're going to be getting Supergirl in June of 2026, and then most likely Lanterns in, summer, fall of 2026, and then we're probably most likely going to be getting Waller after that. Now, the movie we're unsure of, but the most we have is Swamp Thing, but it's entirely possible that they then want to do Batman. after that. So the only 3 movies that have been announced in regards to definite connection is The Authority, Swamp Thing, Brave and the Bold. So I don't know what we're going to be getting in 2027, but if I were to say, I would say probably Swamp Thing or Batman. I think The Authority is going to be, it's an ensemble thing, so that's probably going to be the end of Chapter 1, Part 1. That's going to be the big finale, if I were to guess. But that is neither here nor there. But let's finally move on to my thoughts on Superman and Lois Season 4, Episode 5. I had to think about that for a second. But yeah, Superman and Lois. I think this was definitely way better than the last couple of episodes. Last couple of episodes weren't bad, but I thought they were okay. Season episodes 1 and 2 were really good, and then they kind of flubbed it a bit, and now I think they brought back, because what I liked about this episode was you do see a human side to Lex Luthor. I know that might be weird, people might not like it. I'm not gonna act like I'm in love with it, but I like how he has this one thing, the one thing. It doesn't make him a sympathetic character. It's just yeah, he's human, but I like how they have that one human element for him, showing that he's just a man. Even though he wants to be more than a man, he's just a man. He wants to be with his daughter, but his hatred clouds his judgment, much like Anakin Skywalker, except he was never really all that good. I don't like how they, made it so that, oh yeah, he was abused. I feel like that's a typical kind of lame thing. Oh, that's the reason he's evil. Typical, kind of lame, but I feel like the way that they show it, it wasn't just that was the only thing that defined him. There was more to it than that, but that was one of the, that was one of the aspects of, whatever. That's just one of the things. It's maybe that's a small bit, but I feel like there's more to him than that. But yeah, I also liked how they showed, I liked the stuff with Jordan and John this episode. There was the idea of the John dealing with his double life. Candace comes back for an episode, and I liked how they handled that with John and Jordan as well, coming in to the rescue. Now it's John is being the hero, he's helping out. And then at the same time, we have, Jordan picking up the slack, but he doesn't mind it. He's not he doesn't now. We're starting to feel oh, he's not in the shadow of John. He's just working with him, and I liked that, that brotherly dynamic that makes part of the subplots work. We don't see much of Soups this episode, but that's okay. I do like the suit. I think it's a little bit darker than I would have liked, but I feel the way that they're doing it here is oh, it's post-death, so they gotta go darker without doing the black suit. I love how they're not doing the fucking black suit, because I feel that's such an overrated, oh, Death of Superman, we gotta have the black suit, and the Zack Snyder version was fucking pointless. They're oh, let's just use black because comics, even though it loses all of the point that the comics had to begin with. So there's that. I never really understood oh, okay, because it's in the comics. Well, you lose if you don't have the context, then there's no fucking point of using it. So there's that as well. But that's neither here nor there. This is the better version of Death of Superman that we've gotten outside of the animated movies. But I love what they're doing. It's not as good as other seasons, I'm going to admit that, but I don't think this is a bad season. Maybe I'd love to know your guys' thoughts, but I don't think this is a bad season. I think that this has been a good season, which is less than great like other ones, but I think this is good. I liked how we get the human element with Lex Luthor. We get the human element with Doomsday. That was totally because again, they're really trying to do new and interesting things with this story. God knows the original comic isn't that depthful. It's just one long fight scene. So it's like, all right, so let's try to do something new and intriguing with this. And they use the fact that he was Bizarro, he was a man at one point, to reason with him, rather than just like, oh, Superman has to fight him again because, But I like how they have that. I liked the Elizabeth Lex Luthor dynamic. This was overall just a really, really good episode. Like, every storyline was good. Like, this was like a good concrete episode, well paced. I liked Superman here. He showed like he's like, I want to talk morality. I was wrong. Let's hope we can move past this. But Lex Luthor's just stuck in his ways. He can't do that. He's evil. He's evil. We can't have that. I'm gonna fucking destroy everything. And I think we have a good midpoint here. Like, I understand it's not gonna be Penguin levels of midpoint with, that, but I don't want to spoil it in case you haven't watched it yet. But I think this was a good midpoint. Like, it was like, oh, that's interesting. Let's see how this develops, because we still have half a season left. We still have 5 more episodes, and I'm really intrigued with how Lex Luthor is going to make some moves now. How are we going to have another proper death of Superman? Is Superman going to be depowered? Is it by the end of the season? I'm curious what they're going to do here. Now, I personally think that he's going to be... Now, he didn't have any, like, super-powered mishaps, like, I don't know if it was the last episode or the episode before, where he, fell in the Arctic in his heart. So we didn't have that. I have a strong feeling we're going to get something bigger next episode, because that's, a cause of concern. I mean, as Lois was saying, it's a cause of concern. So we got a lot of Lois this episode. We got her humanity again. And we got a good John and Jordan stuff. And it was like, again, the family dynamic. That's what makes this show so good, is the family dynamic. I understand, like, I know a lot of people will probably say, oh, it's, the reason that they stopped Doomsday was a CW speech. But I feel like, and yeah, that's something we like, all right, it's a little silly. But I think it works here because the show was set up that way. It was set up like it's all, like, I understand, like, we make jokes about family, and I'm in control here. I'm the only one, so no Toretto. But the family aspect, that's what makes it so good. And I like that. Like, and I think that's what partly makes this show work so well. And it was set up as like a familial, like, energy, and, Smallville, small town, all that stuff. So I like how we're getting that. We are getting that here. And I firmly believe that we're going to be getting some really great episodes to come. This was almost as good as the first 2 episodes, and better than the last 2. So I liked that as well. But that is pretty much it for today. Not a ton, but enough. I don't want to, filibuster. I kind of filibustered with the Lantern casting going a little bit too long. But I just wanted to let you guys know, thank you for watching. I hope you like, I hope you comment, I hope you subscribe, and, ring the notification bell, because you know how the YouTube algorithm can be. They can be a cruel mistress. So, and as well as the fact, try to be, informed when we, do a live show, do a video, whatever that may be. But let us know your thoughts on, Kelly Macdonald being cast as Sheriff Carey. Do you think there's more to it than that? Or it's just like, that's the character, that's what we're getting? The possible rumor that is confirmed in regards to the, the antagonist being like a corporate billionaire type character, and, John being in love with this, having his love interest be Zoe, this minority character in an all-white town. The Superman trailer might actually be coming out at CCXP on December 8th. And then, Peacemaker filming its last 2 episodes. Exciting. We're getting there. Not a lot to talk about, but I'm curious again to know your thoughts. And then finally, what are your thoughts on the newest Superman and Lois episode? Thank you all for watching. We love and appreciate all of you. I know this has been a very hectic week. I know this has been, not ideal, but things happen. People get sick, people get busy. But we hope that you stay with us. We hope that you know, stay, don't worry. It's just a bump for now, but we'll get there. But once again, I thank you for watching. Hopefully we will have something for you tomorrow. If we don't, we will see you on Monday with another DCU Daily.